It's Cocoa Tea and Bakes, where we sip cocoa, share our thoughts, and serve up some bakes of wisdom. Cocoa Tea is your go-to for the juiciest gossips and saucy views, and Bakes is here to sprinkle some wisdom and keep it real with the occasional drizzle of petty bettiness. Together we dive into the latest drama, life stories, and everything in between. So grab your favorite cup and join us for a deliciously entertaining sesh. Season 1, Death in Paradise, The Comeback.
Hi Bakes.
Cocoa Tea.
So here we are, Series 14, Episode 3.
Episode 3. The snakes, man, the snakes.
Okay, quick summary. A beautiful lady.
In this episode, we have this Healing Springs beauty center type thing where they use snake venom to create these wonderful, marvelous, anti-aging, you'll never grow young or never grow old kind of cream. Only the director, CEO of Healing Springs died after rubbing some of her own cream, hosting this event to launch it all, and next thing you know, she just dropped down dead.
Not that her death is funny. Your description was funny.
Yeah. I was trying to be really, short and blunt with it, but
Yeah. So, just to summarise, we have watched this episode twice.
We did. We needed a bit of a refresher.
Yeah. And it's always interesting once you've watched something twice because you know the outcome.
You know the outcome, but it's always like the how, isn't it? Because you're like, I did remember seeing that. And then, of course, you watch it 6th time round and it's like, oh, I never saw that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Never saw that at the beginning.
Yeah.
But, I felt for our inspector because just like him, me not like snakes neither. And so at the point where he was all like, trust me, I was doing that in my head. I was like, I agree, mate. Move away, move away. Yeah, I was like, nah, man, I ain't dealing that. I remember one year we went to one of those, what was it? Halloween places? Was it London Dungeon had a Halloween event? And you had to go through like a whole bunch of different mazes and experiences and mattresses, one word. But at the end of it, you had the gift shop. And it was like True Blood, this gift shop. If you ever watched True Blood and you watch them go to one of those those places where they've got everything that you don't want hanging from the ceiling, along with, spiders and snakes and frogs in a jar. And at the end of this particular experience, this one woman had these massive, I'm choosing my words carefully here, this massive anaconda wrapped around her. I said, do you want to touch it? I was like, me! I was gone.
Nikki and her anaconda.
I was gone. And I weren't the only one either. We had some family members with us and they too did the side crab in sharpish fashion. Not me.
I don't like snakes.
No,
I don't like spiders. Yeah.
No, I'm not a fan of the creepy crawlies either. I would say I'd share my cat's kill it mentality, but my cat doesn't actually have that kill it mentality. All my previous cats prior to this current one, I say kill it, they'll say where is it, they'll do what they need to, and they'll make it disappear. This one will bring it in live, drop it on the floor like it's a sock, and go about business and expect me, and then comes back looking in the spot where obviously I've had to get rid of it. Comes back to the spot where it was and looks around like, I'm sure I put it down somewhere. I don't understand. 2020 pets, man, they're built different.
That was her leftovers. She came back with that.
It was living. There's nothing left over about it.
Oh, okay.
She don't kill them. They come in live. If they ain't live and kicking, they are live and pretending to be dead.
Like a possum.
Pretty much, yes. It's very much like a possum. I'm digressing though. But back to Death in Paradise. But yeah, man, them snakes, nah, I ain't having it. And then you have Pineapple Boy have the cheek to actually carry one towards the end of the thing, giving it, come along now, Delroy. I'm like, excuse me?
That's a great name though.
For a snake.
For a snake, that was a great name. That's an old man name right there, Delroy.
Sorry to any Delroy that might be listening.
What?
So, this episode is quite ingenious, isn't it? How the victim died.
I think it was very insightful. And it really shows, it took everyone coming together, and it shows that the team are coming together. They've gone through their storming phase.
Oh, God, no.
Now they're forming.
Oh.
And soon they will be norming.
Oh, no. She's doing the storming, forming, norming, which is a process by which groups interact. It's a relationship kind of process of how groups interact with each other. First of all, they start off with the
storming,
which basically means everybody argues and boundaries are formed according to Cocotti.
Doesn't need to be the fact that they're actually arguing, but they're figuring out how they're going to work together. This comes up a lot in change management and project management. Yeah.
But in the case of Death in Paradise, please.
Yeah, so, you know, the guy was rude.
The
guy is rude. And he had to learn some boundaries.
Had to learn some manners.
And good old Darlene.
It's a bit of a recurring theme, isn't it?
Yeah, good old Darlene. Let him know.
Does not disappoint, does Darlene? Does not disappoint.
Yeah. So she's informed. So like he said at the beginning, could you do the murder board? And she looked at him. One look. Please.
And that's the storming part of the storming, norming, forming.
Yeah.
I'm missing one, aren't we? Storming, norming, forming, and...
Storming, forming, norming.
And...
No.
There's 4.
Oh gosh.
We'll figure this out later.
Yeah, we'll come back.
We'll come back to that. But in the meantime, so, just for our listeners, so basically the victim died in an unusual fashion, and of course the series spent some time trying to figure it out. But whilst they were figuring this out, you also had the commissioner going through his own trials, tribulations, as he was informed in the last episodes that, you know, his job will no longer be available. And you also had the inspector still investigating the death of his mum.
I just have to say again, I say in every episode, and yes, I know I'm boring, so you don't have to tell me, but it's going to be sad if he actually leaves.
The inspector, the commissioner, sorry.
The commissioner.
Well, of course it'd be sad if nobody wants him to go. He's one of the OGs, man, the originals. Yeah. You can't get rid of him.
And he's taking that hard, you could see it, because when he confronted Darlene, you could tell he had been drinking.
Yes. You always know, though, when the commissioner's been drinking. The tie comes off. The shirt's all like askew. The shirt is also out. One piece is out of the pants. You know, you can always tell it proper. I hate to say it, but proper Caribbean man when they're drunk.
Yes. And the way he was leaning in at the back, like, because you could tell.
Any moment now, it's 3 sheets to the wind. One wind and pew, he'd be gone. But, you know, so sort of to clarify that there was a point where Darlene was having a bit of a vent to Catherine about Pineapple Boy and how he's frustrating her a little bit, and the commissioner heard and basically came up behind her and told her about herself in not to find a point. However, I think because how Darlene sees him, you know, thinking that she might put him a bit on a pedestal, so to sort of be told off by someone at that high level, I don't think has ever happened to her before. And she acted quite strongly about it. I don't mean that, you know, she was, you know, effing him blind or anything like that. It's just a case of you can see that she was truly hurt by what he said. Me, for one, I don't think he was as harsh as she took it. I think that is down to perspective. I think he had points. He may not have delivered them right, but I think what he said was to her was to, you know, remember he's new just as you is new. Have a little patience. He could have just said it that way. I don't think she probably would have taken much offence. But yeah, he went in deep, to be fair. He did go in deep. I don't think he was savage with it personally, but that's perspective. What do you think?
I think the fact that he brought up the fact that he was going to recommend her and he thought that she might be ready for the next step, but now he's questioning. Right. It's probably what hurt her, because I think this is the first real... She's had other jobs before, obviously, but I think this is the one where she feels the most passionate. Yeah. Like she's got her career.
She's really relishing this role.
Yeah. And I think then to have that and then to be knocked back to be like, actually, no, don't get above yourself. Yeah. Kind of put her back to be like, oh, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. I don't think that's what he meant.
No.
I mean, the way he did it was kind of...
It's delivery. I mean, yeah.
Delivery.
If he just said, you know what, remember, you was in his shoes not too long ago.
Yeah.
Have a little patience, yeah? You know, everybody has their learning curve that they have to get through. Pineapple Boy included.
Yep.
But I just think that... I think maybe Darlene got so comfortable that she thought that...
Yeah.
You know, if I'm at this stage already, I'm practically experienced. I don't mean in a bad way, but, you know, she's got a set, you know, amount of experience that makes her a little bit... Her promotion is a little bit more than new boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, let's be honest, we all do it. Do you know what I mean? It's very human nature. I think when we've been in a role for a while, we feel like we know what we're doing. Someone else comes in that's new, and let's be honest, I know you love Pineapple Boy, but
I do. I think
he needs a little help.
Oh no one's
call back up.
We're not saying he don't need. Man needs all the help he can get.
Yeah. And I think that's the reason why Darlene's like, boy, like, she's venting about it and not looking at it from a point of view of...
Actually, I
just
was in
give
that
him some
space.
patience.
Yeah, or I was in that space. I needed help way back when. Who gave it to me?
Yeah, JP.
There we go. It's JP. But, you know, you was talking about how the perspective of Darlene and you have new people coming in and... I don't know if you remember, in one of the episodes I mentioned Fraser. The TV show Fraser, and how... both Fraser and his brother may not know a particular subject, but the moment Fraser gets to know about it, learns and understands it, he lords it over his younger brother like, I've known about this since time immemorial. Yet he only found out like 5 minutes ago. I'm not suggesting that Darlene's situation is the same, but I think in the sense of experience, she's learned that experience now. She's got that experience, but then the younger person's coming in. It's like, I know a bit more about this than you because I've been in the job more than you. But equally, you have to remember. I always say you have to remember where you've come from and how you start, because there are people that have always helped you. Well, for me, I've been very lucky. I've always had somebody to support me during my working career, and I never forget that. And I always make the point of supporting others. As an example, strange enough, today I was speaking to a colleague at work, and we've been using Microsoft quite a lot, and we're going through Microsoft Flow, otherwise known as Power Automate for those that are techie. But the person that I've been talking to about this actually mentioned that I was a really good teacher, because we had a problem and I asked her, goes, see what you can do to solve it. You know, it's an experiment, so make sure you test it out. And he did. He tested it out, and he said, I want a meeting today because I want to show you what I've done. I'm like, yay, show me. You know, if he's a past me, I am going to learn from this. So anyway, so he showed me, and I was just like, oh, I'm a proud mother hen, but this is not what I wanted you to do.
Oh.
He goes, well, I goes, you went, and so the point of the exercise was to find a simplistic way of converting names on a form to email so that it can be distributed. Unfortunately, from what I had read, there was no easy way to do it. So I wanted to see whether he might have found one. Unfortunately, he did the long way around, which basically went through every name on the list and created an email address for them. And I was just like, it's not what I wanted you to do, because I knew how much time that would take. But I'm proud that you did it because you've discovered how to do it. It's like, yeah. I goes, but the only thing is, it creates more work for the both of us in the future, because it means that for the department that we've had to do this work for, they have quite high turnover.
Okay.
So every time somebody leaves, one of us is going to have to change it. Which, knowing the speed of which they are a bit of a revolving door, will be quite often, and that's the work that I've been trying to avoid both of us doing.
Yeah.
But until we get a new system, there's no way around it, to be honest. So, but, you know, it was nice to see that somebody had learnt something that I taught them and literally ran with it.
Well, that's sweet, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
I think everyone needs patience.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have patience. It helps. It helps you understand people's perspectives.
I see myself in Pineapple Boy sometimes when I watch it. Only because I am very much one, I thrive on feedback. So I'm the kind of person, you tell me what I do wrong. Yeah. Cool. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go away and work on that. Yeah. Apart from lateness, but we won't get into that. No. We won't get into that. But I've had people in my life who have gone, okay, I need this target. Yeah. You gave me, let's say there's a called, like, perfect example, my mentor. He was my customer, and before he became my mentor, and I said to him, I want 5 stars. Yeah, to hit like bonuses and stuff. I was like, right now you've kind of given me a 3.
Yeah.
What can I do
to get?
It's like 3 is good, and I was like, but I want to be great. Yeah, and I was like, so what would I do? And he wrote me a list of things. Yeah. Like, because we went through it, and then you just take off those lists, and I think that's what we're seeing. Yeah. From Pineapple Boy, right? Yes. He made a mistake,
and he's rectified it, but
he rectifies it.
But he didn't do that throughout the entire this series. Every time he's made a mistake, he's gone above and beyond, shall we say?
He's taking
proactive steps. Those proactive steps might be, a tad too proactive, but they are getting him results.
What I will say is this. In the episode, we see that he stumbles the bag a little bit around going undercover.
Oh, that was hilarious, that was.
Yeah, so they understand there's something going on here relating to this death and drugs.
Yes.
He has some connections, he says. So the inspector asks him to investigate it.
She does.
Well, she does. He gets a telephone number.
Yep, he gets a number, but forgets to ring it.
Yeah. So then he calls it to go undercover to meet this person. He's talking to this person.
I got it from my friend. Sleepy Pete. Silent Sam. Oh, where's he coming with these names?
Leave him be. Leave him be. It worked up until the point where he revealed his police badge.
He was meant to get the cash out.
Yeah.
His police badge fell out. Boy. And of course, that person took off running. But Darlene in that wig, man. Oh my God. There's disguise and there's disguise. And this was a disguise.
Leave her alone. The wig was fine.
The wig was terrible, man. Jesus.
It was for the undercover.
Who remembers Ruby, the chef, from way back when?
Stop it.
Boy. You're telling me to stop it. I ain't stopping. This ounce of reality here. Oh, no, I take that back. It's a grain of pettiness. Yes. She looked like Ruby the chef. I was just like, please, get a different wig, man. I mean, you know what? She could have just used her natural hair, wore a hat. That would have been much better than that wig she had on.
So, yeah. So, after he had made that mistake and fumbled the bag a little bit, the next day... So that night is when Darlene was venting to Catherine.
And the commissioner turned up and said what he said.
Yep. So the next day she walks in and he's already there. Early bird, checking the victim's phone.
Because she mentioned, but this is to do with the party. So we've jumped a little bit. So there's one point before all of the undercover stuff. Pineapple Boy had been charged with stopping a party by the commissioner because apparently he has 8 complaints about this beach party that's been going on. And he turns up, now those that have watched the series so far realise that Pineapple Boy likes a bit of a party himself, right? However, this party, he turned up like a little pussycat. You need to stop the party. I'm like, who's going to hear him say that? Then he said it again with a little, I can't even say a little more bass in his tone. You guys have to start the party again. Who's going to hear that amongst all that music? Then he finally gets the courage to turn off the mic and say party's over. But unfortunately, nobody was paying him a blind bit of notice. Then he gets out his handcuffs, at which point, I don't know what happened to him at that point. I do know that there was stuff being thrown at him. And next thing you know, you see him carrying behind a coconut tree asking Darlene for a bit of help.
And he's been handcuffed to the tree.
Oh, was he handcuffed?
He was handcuffed to the tree.
Oh, shame. So that's what happened to his handcuffs. So it's like, yeah. So, yes. So at which point Darlene had suggested that he gets himself a little bit of more of initiative to do what he needs to do. And this is where Laverne was talking about how he's getting the initiative. So, yeah.
No. So just the initiative part comes, it's called, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I hear what you're saying. Because it was the party. Mm-hmm. That's when he found the drugs. Yep. That's when he called the numbers, his friends.
Yeah, but before that she'd said, get some initiative, to stop the party. And so he did. He picked up the packet of drugs. Yeah. They realised it was a connection. Yeah. Inspector said, go undercover.
That went terribly.
Yeah. There's only so much Pineapple Boy can do, Small steps, yeah.
But the next day, he's like, okay, I've made mistakes, but I shall improve. But I will get better.
He's always had that, though.
What?
That mentality of, I've made mistakes, but I can improve. Even the first time we met him, he made a mistake. What did he do? He improved. He went through What did he do?
Oh, he let the someone stole the USB stick.
Yeah, he stole the USB
car.
and he knew it was in there, and then he did something.
He took fingerprints from the whole vehicle.
That's right, the whole vehicle. He took fingerprints and found who stole it. So yeah, he improved.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So he's going through the victim's phone. Mm-hmm. It goes through the call logs, the messages, and as Darlene walks in, he's like, oh, he's going through the photos.
Yes.
And that's where he finds out that the husband
has been having an affair with scientist
Carrie, aka the murderer.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I think, had we been paying attention the first time, when we watched it the first time, we might have noticed something was off.
But you know what? Did you, we're backtracking again, did you actually figure out who it was? I meant to ask you that the first time around. I knew it had to be her because of the way she hugged the victim. The victim weren't reciprocating that hug at all. She's very much stiff as a board. And I was just like, what's going on there? That's suspicious. But what I couldn't figure out was the how. I mean, no, I take that back. No. I figured out the how, so I knew that the person had to be touched in some way. I just didn't figure out how they were touched. Yeah. Until the end, when it was all revealed.
To be honest, I was tossing between the husband and Carrie.
Right.
The other young lady, she just seemed too young and too kind of naive. Like,
no, she was into the, no offense, she was into the drug scene.
Yeah. I didn't think she was like about murder. She was just about the drugs.
No, she was about profit. She wasn't about.
Yeah. But then I was arming an arm between the husband and Carrie. Mm-hmm. But my only thing was, I didn't think the husband was there that day. So in my head I was like, it can't be him.
It's whoever's there. Yeah.
But then I was like, but then maybe it is him, because it was so hard for me to work out how it happened. Yeah. Because I feel like it wasn't very clear.
No.
Yeah.
This is it. I thought it was snake venom, and then they said peanut oil. I'm like, and I was thinking, when did she have time to do that?
I don't know. It was, when you watch it back the second time,
it
all makes sense.
It does. It did. Well, it did when we watched it the second time. But equally, we watched it the second time and we still did not see her with the needle. And that was a big ass needle, you know. There wasn't no little prick thing, you know.
Yeah, but that part, they couldn't show that part, could they?
They could have, really.
They would give it away.
Yeah, that would have given it away. That's true, it would have. But
it's not Columbo.
However, isn't it though? Come on now.
It's not Columbo.
It's Columbo in the Caribbean.
No, you sound like our cousin. Yeah. You will not believe what our cousin said to me. Okay. First of all, I was heartbroken. Oh, yeah. Heartbroken because I said to her, "Oh, do you watch Death in Paradise? The new episodes are coming out." And she was like, "What?
Is that?
Is that a reality TV show? Is that like Love?" Is that like what's that show on ITV? She said, "Is it like Love Island?"
Love Island. No.
I was like, "No, it's not." Yeah.
Imagine if it was though.
Oh God. Yeah. So then I show her the show, and she tells me that it's like a Caribbean version of The Bill.
And I said, well, considering our latest inspector, it might as well be. Because he's just as rude as them not in The Bill, man.
No.
What? He talks the same way. You got to remember, like, much as, you know, Sun Hill is in Sun Hill, right, police station. But they filmed that in the ends.
Are you really from the ends?
Are you really from the ends? Are you really from the ends?
Oh,
but yes, go on.
Also, she said, why couldn't they hire actual Caribbean actors? Yeah.
Oh wow. She was like, wait, the commissioner is a Caribbean actor.
She was like, their accents are terrible.
They are Caribbean actors. The girls from Jamaica, I can't remember where Pineapple Boy's from, but yeah, they're actually Caribbean. How could you tell Caribbean people, right, their accents are false?
I don't
That's bad. That's bad.
In episode 1, that's what I showed her. Series 14, episode 1. Oh. And the first boy, I was like,
you know what? You should have showed her the first episode.
I tried. She was like, she was like, Vern, what are these accents? And I went,
you know what? I'm speechless. I know the house this person grew up in. I know who her granny is. And in the first episode, right, Cat, who Laverne calls Cat from Red Dwarf, so Dwayne to the rest of the universe. In the first episode, I'll never forget it. Me and Mum are sitting there watching it, and Dwayne comes on, right, and he's complaining about the heat. Now, for those that understand patois, he was basically fanning himself with his hat, giving it chalet boy. At which point, me and Mum went because basically what he's just saying is the heat, man, the heat. And for us, that's something a typical Caribbean, Dominican, St. Lucian person would say. There is nothing false about that. If my parents were home, they would say it. My aunts are there, they would say it. Most of my Caribbean relatives would say it, especially when the heat is there. So for me, it's like, oh, that's definitely, and that's pretty much, I think it's Dwayne that really got us falling in love with Death in Paradise, because we had these little moments. And of course, JP and his twins, Tiny Whitey, why boom boom, Tiny Whitey, why boom boom. You see that? These are tunes that we've all grown up with. And I know that there is a small percentage, well, there's a large percentage of the British population that will not know that tune, but there's us little small percentages that do know those tunes, and we grew up with those things, so it was very relatable to us. And for that particular relative to say that those Caribbean accents were false, shame on her, shame. But yeah, it's a little bit like the bill.
Stop it! You had me, then you lost me.
I have to give a balanced view.
No.
I see the perspectives of both.
No.
Why not? No. Why?
At this moment, I have nothing logical or reasonable to give back to that statement.
In that case, we're going to move on before she decides to find something.
Because right now, we are storming. But soon, we will be forming.
And then
we'll be norming. Wait, and then performing.
Oh my gosh. She remembered. Do you know what? I thought it was reforming, but I thought maybe not that. I should know this, but hey, you know, I'm getting older, some people might say. Right. Back to our episode.
I think there's one critical thing that we've got to talk about. But before we click onto that, let's just finish off the death and how they worked it all out.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So, the actual murder weapon of choice was snake venom, because that was the whole business of this Springs place.
But how he worked out was quite clever.
Yes.
And funny, in a way.
Well, basically what happened was, when the scientist gave the CEO a hug, she pricked her with this big-ass needle, which none of us saw until the end. And then, whilst they were out having their launch party and whatnot, she collapsed. But it was due to the snake venom. But everybody thought that it was due to peanut oil, because there was a lot of peanuts around the place. So they thought that her allergy had piped up. And she's one of those people that gets anaphylactic shock because she's severely allergic to peanut oil. So they got the EpiPen out and they gave her a big ass stab. It didn't do the job. But what we didn't see, and you guys will see it now because we're going to... Spoiler alert! It turns out what the scientists did is when they laid her down to, you know, administer first aid to her, what she had done was actually put some peanut oil on her thumb and fingers and wiped it on the victim's lips. So in that sense, she ingested peanut oil through her mouth and gums because that was the only place they could find it. So at that point, she hadn't had anaphylactic shock. She was just... experiencing severe snake venom. So the peanut oil was to mask the fact that she had been injected with snake venom. So when she administered the EpiPen, she did it at the same site that she had dug a needle, with snake venom in previously, so that you wouldn't know there was a first wound, as it were.
Yeah.
Which was very clever. But a similar thing happened in one of the other episodes, where the zip line.
Yes, the second episode or the first episode?
Second, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The zip line, the guy on the zip line
was pricked with a pin.
Was pricked with a pin, but unfortunately, when he harnessed himself to the zip line, the pin kept going in and in and in. And then, when he finally died and came off the zip wire, the murderer actually stabbed him in the same area with a big-ass knife.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's very similar.
Yeah. What I was referring to was that the detective, when they were driving off from the I don't know how you call it, the company site,
yes.
shall we say. The first time, he decided that he was going to drive.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Hard-headedness strikes again with the inspector.
He decided he doesn't need to be told how to drive.
No.
I mean, even though he normally drives automatic.
There's a bit of a stick shift. No, I know how to drive. And then it's like, I don't drive these stick shift nonsense. It's all automatics. I'm like, oh, you had to have driven a stick shift to pass your test, mate. UK.
So then she's like, do you want me to help you and tell you? No, I've got this. He goes to go off.
He got it.
He reversed back.
Into a pole.
Yeah. Now, the second time they go to the same customer site, he's about to do it again, but he stops. Naomi gets out. She's like, you're about to hit the exact same spot.
And then he gets an idea and tells her to basically get in the car and move out of the way, and does exactly that. Hits the same spot deliberately this time, because what he's realised is that the wound on the victim's leg where the EpiPen was administered might be the wound for something else. And that's when he comes out and he looks at the car after he's bashed it a second time and realised, yeah, it looks no difference if you strike the same place twice, because there's a bruise already forming. You wouldn't know.
Yep.
So yeah, and it turned out that the coroner didn't look for snake venom because they weren't instructed to, which makes you wonder what are these coroners doing, man. Damn.
Well, come on. Peanut allergy is more likely than snake venom.
You're supposed to find the cause of death, but that means you have to eliminate, just like the inspector does, you have to eliminate every other thingy. So if you know my girl works in a snake factory, right, maybe it's me, maybe it's just my brain, but as well as, if peanut oil is dead, I would also be looking for snake venom.
Yeah, but I think Carrie said, she's having a peanut allergy, like she's having a reaction. Get the EpiPen.
Well, that's fine, but she went in the coroner's office.
No, she was not.
Coroner was.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah, coroners, man, fix up.
That is true.
Do better. Do better.
So, not the heart of the show, but an important part is
the inspector and his mum.
Inspector and his mum, of course.
So unfortunately in this episode it was discovered with, I suppose, irrefutable proof that what she suffered was an accident.
Is it irrefutable proof? I am not sure. I have a feeling that this is going to come up again. I have a feeling there's more to it. I do.
Well, the fact that there was a recording from the harbour master of her calling the harbour master, saying that she's in trouble, she's out at sea because the sea is rough and whatnot, doodahs, and then she cuts off saying that she needs help because she can't manage what she's in the boat. It's not like she was out at sea saying, oh, help, someone is trying to kill me, and she's gone. No.
I'm just saying.
I think Cocotte lives in hope that there'll be a bit more to this than
it just seemed a bit too convenient.
Well, you got to remember, this person didn't really have many people in her life. Though she came over because her dad was ill, and then the dad passed. She had one neighbour that she seemed to get on with. She didn't really go anywhere per se.
Not that we know yet.
See, I'm not one to be putting out spoiler alerts for next episodes, right?
I'm just saying.
I'm there trying to be really, discreet with it, because we're going to discuss it in the next episode. But still.
I'm not trying to give spoilers, but I'm just saying we don't know enough about her yet. He doesn't know enough about her yet.
This is true. And I'm sure in episodes to come he will find out. But for this episode, this is what we know.
And we don't know enough to say that.
Until the next episode. Da-da-da-da-da.
I can't take her anywhere.
But yeah, no, it was a sad conclusion, because you could see he was really emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was nice that the young detective was there with him.
Yeah.
When he found out. So hopefully there'll be a bond growing there. Not a romantic one.
A romantic bond.
Not a romantic bond, maybe a friendship bond, but not a romantic bond, because it doesn't seem there's a bit of a curse with that show in terms of romantic bonds. I mean,
it could be ending now.
Poor Ralph, the one romantic bond he had was a stalker.
Don't worry about
that. And when he tried to get with what's her name?
Oh yes,
yeah, the other detective.
Yeah. Look,
he tried, she weren't having it. Then she tried, and he weren't having it. So it's like, oh well.
Don't worry about that.
I think the only one...
Romance is blooming. Right now,
I think only 2 detectives, actually, out of all of them, have had... but they've had to leave for their romance to bloom. So you had British Telecom guy, Detective Humphreys, and the Irish one. I'm sorry, I keep calling him the Irish one, but everyone knows who I mean.
Yeah. He's got his own show now.
Oh, yeah. I ain't listening to that.
I watch it. It's all right. It's not great, but it's all right.
I don't watch it.
She's a little bit of a hater. I'm not gonna lie.
I ain't little nothing.
I mean, now that is a version of the bill. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
see,
let's not get into that anyway.
So I don't watch it. But anyhow,
the point is,
final thoughts.
My final thoughts is Naomi and the inspector. Romance could be blooming. Yeah, right now it's storming, but it could be forming.
Her expectations aren't matching reality. But anyhow, I think final thoughts is that we'll hope to see the inspector blossom a little bit more. Maybe be a little bit less rude. It'd be nice. Form better relationships with his colleagues. And let's see if we get any progress with the commissioner and his role. Let's hope that they don't fire him.
But we did see once, so not to just say onto a thing, we did see that a little bit at the end of this episode.
We did, but
they went for drinks, which was nice.
They went for drinks, yes. They went for that's because they tricked him. They told him to go watch the footy. He turned up. He's like, "Where is it?" Then he's like, "Catherine Meno."
Not in my bar.
Not today. Not today. At which point, the face on him is like, next time I ain't coming. Anyway, that's our final thoughts for this time, and we'll see you next time with more Death in Paradise. You have been listening to Cocoa Tea and Bakes, where we have been serving up some bits of wisdom along with some saucy views from the Cocoa Tea. Join us next time for more of the same.